Okay, this is somewhat of a tutorial because I got tired of taking a bunch of pictures. We started out with the oval, and then cutting that out and splitting it in the little curve. I'll add a picture of that part because it's hard to explain. And then cutting them out and taping the sides to make the mouth. So this is the head. And then you cut out a strip of cardboard about an inch wide. I have a ruler, but I don't really care for ruling. And you match it up to the edges of the head and see what makes the best curve lengthwise. This isn't really good cardboard. I used really thin cardboard for the other ones. And then, so this is where the mark will be. And then cut off the excess. And I suggest masking tape, but this is the only tape that I have. So, I'm using packing tape. And then little strip on the thing, put it in the middle, and it's like that. So it'll be like that. This was like half a skeleton of the head. And then you'll have another cross beam to help you make it a little more circular, because that crap's hard when you don't have a proper skeleton for your sculpture. Doesn't have to be a plant, just anything you're making out of cardboard that you want it to be a circle. Also, when you want to curve cardboard, it's good to break the cells of the cardboard so that it's not stiff like this, because this isn't going to bend very much, but once you break the cells, it's a lot more pliable. I do not suggest, however, doing it against a black trash can. That is very hot. Yeah, I burned my finger. Not this. This is where I cut myself on the scissors. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna have to go charge my battery soon. Hopefully this is a little longer. Break the cells again. Okay. Yes, much better. And there's my tape. Sorry, I'm not really good at this whole doing it for other people, showing a tutorial. This is my very first tutorial of anything, so it may or may not be useful. If not, just tell me and I'll try to explain it on like paper. That might just be a little bit easier than trying to watch this and figure out what the heck I'm doing. Because I'm having trouble figuring out what the heck I'm doing right now. Sorry, this tape's really hard to get off the thing. I don't know why I use it. It's the only thing we have in the house. Okay. Alright. Skeleton. You have this, and you can see inside. Okay. And then you start paper macheing. And I might do a little bit of a video of that, but I won't be able to touch the camera or anything because I'll be covered in glue. But I will show you the setup, and then I'll show you after I've paper mache'd, because I already have 2 heads and a stem done. So for the stem, you just take a strip of cardboard that's like 2.5 inches wide, and break it all up so that the cells are all curvy and broken and stuff, and then you roll it end to end so it's skinny and long, and then you can curve it in whatever way you want, and then tape the ends together so that it's not falling apart when you go to paper mache it. This, not too bad. Sorry I have this cardboard box right here, but I wasn't thinking about that. Alright, you take a bunch of old newspapers. I grabbed everything that was in the recycling bin, and you tear them into strips, just like this. It's real easy to do. You just and you're good. I like tearing them again in half because then you have a little more to work with, and it's a little more manageable than some long piece of paper covered in glue that you're trying to cover. I used Elmer's glue and water, so it's equal parts water and glue, and you just put it in a container, mix it all up, and that's paper mache. And then you take the paper, you dip it in, and kind of do that into the thing so there's not a whole bunch extra, and you just place it everywhere so you cover all the holes and then cover everything. And after like 3 layers of paper on top of each other, you want to make sure to let it dry, because if you put too much on all at once, it won't dry quickly and it'll dry weird. It's just easier. And then if you want, you can put like a ball of something inside to keep everything up, but you might have a hard time taking it out because it'll glue to it. So I don't suggest that, but if you'll have a hard time keeping everything up with your fingers, like putting everything, like using your fingers as support and smoothing everything out, I do suggest putting a ball of paper in there, just because that'll keep everything up. But you also might end up gluing stuff inside your thing, which you don't really want to do, because then you might rip it. And we're back. Okay. I like this head better. Alright, here is a beginning layer, and it's hard, kind of still squishy, but it's hard. And this is my little cardboard man, and you can see inside the little crossbar, I think you can. It's a little bright, I can't see anything. And then here's the tube of this for the stem. I have the leaves. I'll show those in a picture because they're really easy to do. You just cut out some leaf looking things. They look like little cartoon leaves. What I'm gonna do next is the lips of the plants, because you know they got those big old white lips. And for the teeth, I'm going to use Model Magic air dry clay. I definitely suggest Model Magic and not like a regular air dry clay, simply because the air dry clay, it cracks a whole lot, but the Model Magic doesn't. It's just a little squishy, and yeah, it's like foam. So don't keep trying to squish it, but it is kind of squishy. I don't know. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's from Crayola. I'm sure they have other brands of it, but I grabbed Crayola simply because that's what I'd used before. Alright, you take newspaper. We do a lot of stuff with newspaper here. Roll it up. And you can make it as big or as little as you want. I'm really experimenting with the lips. I've only done this kind of aesthetic before, like once, for a bat that I made, and I did the nose. And that was experimental then, and it's experimental now. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this will work good. Okay. So you roll it up and see how big your lips are. I'm gonna cut it into sections because that'll be a little more manageable. And then otherwise it's gonna be cracking and you're gonna have weird angles and lumps in your lips. And some of that stuff can't be worked out with the paper mache, unfortunately. So like this. And then, whoa, dropping stuff. And just put it in there. And it'll look like that. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but it will eventually. I promise you, it won't be all crazy and stuff forever. I spent a lot of these videotaping stuff together, it seems. And I'm losing newspaper everywhere. Whatever. But yeah, you make little circle tubes on there, and I'll make this a little curvier, but you just do that for both ends, and then you'll paper mache over that. I'm going to do that and take pictures of it because I can't paper mache in video. But paper mache is kind of self-explanatory. You just put paper over top of the paper and booyah! Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that now, and then I'll take pictures. Peace. Okay. Now we're gonna, this is the bigger one. It's all finished with paper macheing. This is what it'll look like. I have to put a layer of white paper on it still, but so that you don't have to do primer, so you don't get comics instead of paint. So this is that. This is the smaller head that I'm working with and making. So we're gonna put the lips on this one so it doesn't look like this anymore. And I'll video some paper macheing, but I won't do all of it. 1, because my camera's dying, and 2, because it's really boring to watch. But this is that. So, roll this up into a little tube. That's what it is, a tube. Okay. And then cut some tape. Put the tape on the edge, like this. The tape's right here. And roll it. For this little one, I want to roll it as tightly as I can, just because it's little and it'll look weird if I have a giant lip and a tiny head. And so now I've lined it up with the edge of the mouth, like that. And I will trim it so that it'll fit. looks like that. So there's one lip. And then you go on the inside and you just tape everything. So, and here is the second head. With its got the tape on the inside. So got the big one and the little one. Awesome. I'm gonna paper mache this one now. So I'll do that. Take my rings off because I don't want glue everywhere. It'll get everywhere anyway. I'm gonna try and... Okay, I'll paper mache over here, then you can actually see. Sorry I didn't rip up paper prior to, but I think we'll be okay. Oh, yeah, good. Okay, that should be good for now. So, have my paper mache. And we'll start with this side. And that's extra junk that we don't need. Sorry if I don't talk during much during this part because there's not much to talk about. But there's this, and so you just cover the seam and overhang into here. But we're going to clean that edges up later in a different step. I'll probably put music over this part. Maybe. So that way you don't have to just sit awkwardly. I know I have music in the background, but you can probably not really hear that. Fallout Boy. Woo! But yeah, so then you just keep going over each new strip with another new strip. So then overlap everything. And then it'll come along. So just make sure that you smooth everything out, because the less everything sticks up, the better. It's so bright out. Here's some more progress shots. And there's the inside. Woohoo! I'm actually really excited for these. I have some cool plants in my room. I plan on doing one red and white, like the normal colors, and then I'm going to take a picture of that in grayscale, so black and white, and then try to match some grays and black and whites to that picture and make the other one black and white with paint instead of like a picture, if that makes any sense. I'll post pictures so you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm finished with it, if you can't. If you don't get it now. But yeah. I'm gonna cut the film for right now until I finish, because we'll save battery. But yeah, you just keep doing that over and over on both sides. And see, I covered the hole, so you work around that and just cover it up. So this is the uncovered one. Yeah, then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished paper macheing the smaller head, so now we'll work on the next step on the dry, bigger head, which is putting the stick on. So you want to decide which side you want to be, up or down. I'm going to pick this side because the bigger lip is on the top, and that's just how I want it to be. So you put it on upside down, and then pick which side of the stick. I like this side because it's a little more even. Stick it on. Get some tape. Tape it on. And then we'll paper mache it on. So it's not too bad at all. If I can find the tape. And I trade all my tomorrows for just from yesterday. And then make sure that's where you want it. That's where I want mine, right there. And you put your other piece of tape on. Because you need two sides to hold up the thing. Crappy arse tape. Oh, there went my thing. Sorry, I'm messing up with the tape. I officially hate this tape. Okay. Okay. Fix that on there. Ta-da! So now it's upside down. You flip it upright, and there's your piranha plant. And then we'll just paper mache this chunk on. It's okay if this layer is all wrinkly and junk, because honestly you're gonna go over it again to make sure it actually stays on. So don't mind the wrinkles, because you're wrapping stuff around it, so you're not gonna have a perfectly clean execution. It's just not. You're curving straight paper. Not gonna happen. Yeah, so you just keep doing this until you think it's sufficiently secured, and then you leave it. Because you don't want it to not be sufficiently secured, and then you move it and it all falls apart. Because that sucks. So you just keep paper macheing until it seems a little stable, like it's not standing up entirely with the tape. So if it is only standing up with the tape, when you go to pick it up or anything, it's just gonna fall over, because this tape is some crud. And generally all tape is crud, so do what you gotta do. If I had a hot glue gun, I'd hot glue it on and then paper mache around it, but I have no hot glue gun, and it's a sad state of affairs. Something I really need to invest in. I'm almost out of paper mache, so I guess it's good that I'm nearly done with this project. In regards to paper macheing, I will do a separate video on painting it because I'm gonna have to do that later and not today. And you guys can paint it however the hell you want. But the construction is pretty, you'd have to, of course you can do different variations to do it in your own style or whatever, but construction wise it's pretty straightforward. Do it this way and you'll have a piranha plant, but you can paint your piranha plant however the heck you want. I will also add in the painting video me making